Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you're new to this channel then please smash that subscribe button now. And the film that I'm going to be discussing today is the Telugu film, the newly released Telugu film, the direct to OTT Telugu film which premiered on Amazon Prime, which is called Ammu. Now, there have been a lot of films which have been made on the topic of domestic violence and domestic abuse. I believe, and in my humble opinion, I think it started with the outstanding Malayalam film, The Great Indian Kitchen, which I will be talking about someday on my channel as a part of the throwback or flashback. What that film did was that it had a very strong female character who was going through all those motions in a marriage where the male protagonist was not abusive at all. And I think that was the crux of the story that actually added like a mirror to so many households. And that film, I think, set the tone. There was a later film in Hindi that was also made, not a remake, it was an original film called Darlings, starring Alia Bhatt, which was on Netflix. It also tackled a similar issue weaved around a black comedy. So when this film was announced, Ammu, I was also looking forward to it, but I wanted to know what new can they do with this subject also. Uh, of course, just to put it out there, this is a supremely relevant subject. And another word of caution: if there are young parents, watching this video, then please teach your sons at a very young age to respect women. Teach your sons or set an example in your own house so that the child absorbs the environment of your home and then inculcates those values. So with that, I start the review of Amu. So Amu is basically a story of a young woman who gets married to her neighbor, and all is well in a marriage until one day, the husband, turns against her, and she then it then begins a long lasting abusive relationship, so to say. And the story is supremely relevant, although it's not quite novel. The screenplay standing at around 135 minutes, if I'm not wrong. This seems slightly on the longer side, I wouldn't lie. There could have been certain instances which could have been cut short in the second hour. I think the second hour is a little weak here. I'll get to that in a moment. But the first half, there are two ways to look at this. If you are expecting like a film, going into this film you're expecting something like a Great Indian Kitchen, then I think you are not going to like this film right up, because the thing that was in Great Indian Kitchen was that it was very subtle in its storytelling and it felt very grounded to reality. Here I'm not saying it is not grounded to reality, but the proceedings are much in your face, which kind of, for me, it did work in the film's favor as well, because of the fact that um, the messaging was loud and clear in this film. It wasn't subtle at all. The messaging was clear, and the intensity of the film was high, so it was chilling in many ways. So early on in the film, you are introduced to the protagonist who is just about to get married to her neighbor. A later scene gives a glimpse that she wasn't really wanting to get married at that young age, of 25. She was said to be 25 in the film. And once she's married, initial days are all hunky dory until one day, the tables turn. And here I had a slight issue here. The transition, I think it could have been a little established for the audience. The transition in the behavior of the husband is what I'm saying. It just seemed, like one scene earlier he was totally fine, and it just switched in the next scene. Probably the writers wanted to give an impression to the audience, almost like a shock, which was the reaction of the female protagonist also. So I think the intention was fine, but I think the little establishment or the little build up, so to say, would not have harmed. But I would tend to give the benefit of doubt to the writer here. uh, as the film progresses, you get to know the various anger management um, problem that the male character has, the husband in this case has. So he, intimidates uh, the female protagonist in his police station where he works. The police station, the police cop role here signifies masculinity, which in turn, in this case particularly, is toxic masculinity. It represents that, and the intimidation just carries on. At times, even leaves her on the road after an argument at night just to fend for herself to come back. Also, in a random scene, after a fight, he just slaps her. I think these are all ridiculous kind of uh, actions that the viewers also are going through along with the protagonist. In a scene, where the protagonist, the female protagonist, is talking to her mother, it is revealed that her mother also had a similar treatment with her husband, and she was told by her mother in return that men have that authority over wives. They are frustrated in their daily lives, and these actions come as a byproduct to their love. I think this is absolutely ridiculous advice. Please, if anyone is watching it and anyone is giving the advice to their children, don't give this advice. This is absolutely ridiculous. Men have no authority of such things at all, and should not be doing that under any circumstances, even if you're married. Anyway, so coming back to the review, the it is a very chilling drama. In the first hour, there's this one particular scene in which after a fight, the protagonist is surprised by a plate which is flung to her, which hits the wall next to her. I think that was a very chilling scene, and it came out of nowhere. It was so well executed that it caught your attention immediately. The issue, though, slight issue. I wouldn't say it derails the film in any way. The slight issue lies in the second half. When the entire revenge drama unfolds through one of the other protagonists, which is introduced late in the film. I think this over here, although the drama is supremely watchable, it was a little underwhelming. There were no high points in the screenplay. It just was on the same level. The revenge drama is in a way not bad at all. It is still good. It is still watchable, but the way it is unfolded, it is very predictable, and it was not something that it was shocking to me or left me on a high. Like, if you remember, the ending of Great Indian Kitchen was so subtle and powerful. Even Darlings, I think that ending slightly underwhelming, but still the messaging was good here. Although the messaging is clear, I did feel it was quite underwhelming, to say the least. Probably they could have, I don't know what they could have done, that's for the writers to say, but the ending was a little underwhelming for me. The second half wasn't as great as the first half. But overall, the screenplay, taking nothing away from it, the journey was beautiful, and not beautiful in a way, but cinematically beautiful, I would say, but supremely relevant, and it was a story that needed to be told. Coming to the technical aspects, I think the dialogues are pretty well written. I think they create a instant stir that is there. The BGM and music are fairly okay. The cinematography is very good, and it helps in creating that atmosphere of fear that is there. It's fantastic the way it is created. The art design is pretty good as well. Director, I think he's done a pretty good job, and he is able to generate those moments of fear, that atmosphere that is created, particularly in the first half. He slightly stutters in the second half with some of the execution of scenes, but then I'll let that pass. I think the narrative style was still good, and it was quite engaging right throughout. The performances, I felt. Bobby Simha, you may have seen him. He was the prime antagonist in the Kannada film KGF Part 1. He was also seen in the Kannada film 777 Charlie along with Rakshit Shetty in a brief role. I think he is very endearing here. His character is very endearing, and he does a good job. I feel Naveen Chandra is excellent. I think he was supremely intimidating, and a character that would absolutely make you angry. And if that was the sentiment as a viewer, then I think he's done a pretty good job here. In fact, an excellent job here. Naveen Chandra is excellent in this film. Aishwarya Lakshmi, she takes you on so many emotions that you can almost feel the pain and the angst and the fear on her face. She does a terrific job in this film. I think the role, she really owned it, and I think this was a towering performance if ever there was one, and she did a pretty good job. She never got carried away or went overboard in her role at all. So overall, Ammu I feel is a chilling drama with powerful performances. Yeah, it does stutter a little in the second half, but I would still say it is a pretty good watch. I really enjoyed it, and it is a lesson to everyone out there once again to please teach your children, especially your sons, to respect women at a very young age. Not that you can't teach them when they are older, also, but start when they are young. Uh, if you're liking this video, please smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. As you know, we are on a journey of the first milestone of the channel of 1,000 subscribers, and so please subscribe to the channel. It helps a small creator like me. Hit the bell icon also. It'll help you know when I'm online with a new video. Also, read my full review of Ammu on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S, the link of which is in the description box below. Also, follow me on various social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. All links are in the description box below. I will see you again tomorrow, I believe, with another review of another Telugu film. And until then, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your continued love and support. Cheers. Thank you.